Hey guys, what's going on? We are in the last segment of the day to speak my truth. Thank you guys for joining me for this second round. My first interview today went really well. I was really happy with how it all went. She was very kind. Jessica Clark, I thank you so much again. And for my second interview is someone that I have yet to meet until right now, which I'm very excited for. And my husband is going to join me on this interview as well. I see that he is already in, so we're going to get started. I don't take up his time here. All right. Hey!
Look at that stash.
What's going on? Ken, what's going on, man?
Good, my brother.
So this is, Ken only likes to come on the shows when it's like a bro, and he said you would be like a bro.
Yeah.
And so
I mean, the mustache kind of points that out.
and he's going to help with all of, can you move over? Do you not see the shot? Like, can you not? Lord.
How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
How are you doing?
Good. Priscilla, when we first got linked up, you should have just said Ken was your husband.
Oh, I
It-
didn't. I don't
No.
like to use his name.
It's funny. Well, we linked up a bunch of times at PVI.
Yep.
Oh, wow. I had no idea that, I guess, like, all the circles connected. Because, again,
Yeah.
when you guys were playing, I was at play rehearsal, and I was at home being a loser. So, yeah.
Well, he's a few years older because he was on
Yeah.
the Holy Cross team that won state,
Yes.
State Bosco. So
Yes.
with Coach Doe and Coach Nutt when then they came
And I
down.
texted Coach Doe, and I was like, I'm interviewing Phil. And he was like, oh, my gosh, that's so cool. Not going to meet a nicer guy. And I was like, okay, well, that's good to know. So
Those are man.
But thank you again for being on and for taking the time out. Where are you right now?
I am in my office in Philadelphia,
Oh,
Nice.
right across the bridge.
you
I
lied
thought
to
you were
me.
still in Europe.
Lied to me.
Now I've been back. You want to come in? Come say what's up. Now my girlfriend, she's over there. I've been back probably about a year now.
Okay.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
awesome. And what were you doing over there?
So living life over there, learning Spanish, writing a book, traveling, and yeah, just living
That's
over there.
the ultimate. Literally,
Yeah, right?
that's like the ultimate answer. Like living life, writing a book, learning Spanish, being dope as hell.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
All right. Do you have your drink, Phil?
You know what? I ran out of Terramana, so my drink usually is the Rock's new Terramana tequila.
I can't wait to try. I'm not even a tequila. It's tequila, right?
Yeah.
I'm not a tequila drinker because the country song is right. Tequila makes her clothes fall off. So I steer clear. So, and I usually have my Coors Light in my wine glass, but we had to finish the bottles, so I had to. But we will cheers to you. Thank you for being on the show. We
Cheers.
appreciate it. This is real love. This is how we stay connected, is through
Alcohol.
through drinking.
I think that's a lot of people right now.
Yeah, I think it's good. So you're in Philly, and what made you come back to, I guess, home, quote unquote?
I want to, live near my family, but the real reason, I moved here, my girlfriend, she's a nurse at Pennsylvania Hospital.
Wow,
nice.
congrats to her. Can she hear this?
She cannot, because I got my earphones in, but
Got you.
yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna thank you. I'm gonna give her a round of applause. Thank you for that. To being a nurse, I know that it's very difficult times right now.
Mhm.
And what a good boyfriend to come back. Yes. Are you writing a relationship book? Because that should be number one. Great job. Way to go.
Now I'm lucky.
Guys,
Yeah,
I am
definitely lucky.
here with Phil Costa. So if you guys have any questions for him, you guys can look at the bottom of your screen. There's a question mark with a square around it. You tap that, and then you can ask him questions. Please don't make them too long, just because when you start writing a paragraph, I can only read but so much. So if you do have a paragraph and you want to sing his praises, just write it in the comments section, and then I'll get to that. But I do want to kind of start off with, we all are in the same boat in a sense, because you're from Morristown, correct?
Yep.
You went to Holy Cross, which was our rival.
Yeah, a little bit.
We went to Paul VI High School. And can you tell me just a little bit about because I feel like what we're going to really speak about, like the theme is transitioning. Mm-hmm. And you've had these transitions in your life and you've come out so much like better for them, positive, and you've had a great mindset and you've helped me a lot. And I don't even know if you know this, but you've
that's awesome.
Greatly. So can you tell me, because a lot of football schools are known for like North Jersey, and Holy Cross during your age was like the Catholic school prime event for the South Jersey football. You went on to play in the NFL for the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's okay. We forgive them for that. It's fine.
I wonder how many people are mad at you for that, but we'll get to that.
A lot of people.
I figured as much. But look, you got to go where the paycheck is. If they're
exactly
offering your paycheck, they can go ahead. So can you talk about that transition of just from, high school to college to pro NFL player?
Yeah, so, from high school to college, same thing with college to pro. For me, it was never an easy transition because, I was under-recruited from high school to college, under-recruited, undrafted free agent from college to pro. And that's kind of been my theme throughout my sports career is overachieving in pro and college and just having to prove yourself at each point.
I love that. And that's something that's a really big theme with me is I feel like I was always the underdog and people just kind of counted me out. And I'm still unsigned, but I'm still ranked in the world. I'm still like kicking ass. People still know my name. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Like I'm getting the job done. Like I'm making it work.
Yep.
When you signed with the Cowboys, was that your dream?
It was.
Don't laugh. They can hear you.
I know. He's in Eagles country, so.
It is. I'll tell you what. It took my brother. I always tell this story because it took him a month just to put the Cowboys hat on. So my family, once I finished after playing with the Cowboys for 4 years, I had like 3 different phone calls that were, thank goodness you're done with them. It was like, they're not all joking. They were happy. They were thrilled. They were, the biggest fans.
Yeah.
But, it's definitely, no love lost around here.
Oh, I already see it. Cowboys
it's Coach Nutt. He's
in the comments already. And I definitely, I applaud you for chasing your dreams and going after them. I do want to get to the book because I have it right here. And I'm sorry
cool.
It's backwards, guys. Ken bought this for me because I am going to retire, and I was supposed to retire this summer. And now the Olympics are pushed back, we made the decision that I was going to go for another Olympics. And it's called the Transition Playbook for Athletes. And Phil and Rob Curley interviewed 100 athletes and 25 Olympians and literally just asked them straight to the point advice. And what I loved about it was, I believe in the forward, you were just like, I didn't get this growing up. I didn't have something to help guide me. And a lot of the things, and I don't even think a lot of people that for the track world even know this book exists, because every time that I hold it up, I've brought this into a lot of interviews, like a lot of like IG Live, and they're like, damn, what's that book? Can I write it down? I was like, yeah, girl, let me tell you something.
That's awesome.
So for me, it's so helpful because it cuts, and you're right. In the forward, you said it's usually a biography about what they did, their life, but it's never like, help me, bro. Like I need the assistance to get to that next level, that transition. What made you decide to do this?
It was the book that I wanted to read when I was done playing. Okay. And it didn't exist. So like anything else, you create a product because it's something you want to use. Mm-hmm. And, this is a product that I thought I would want to use when I'm done playing. So it wasn't there. So now we created it for the next generation of athlete.
And how do you know Rob Curley? Sorry.
So Rob Curley, my best friend from high school, knew him since homeroom freshman year.
Yep.
And he actually, he lives abroad now, lives over in Switzerland.
Y'all are all international. Y'all loving that life.
But we've been best friends for probably going on 10, 15 years now.
Oh, wow. Okay. So the pride runs deep in that country. I got you. The book is amazing, and I absolutely loved it. Now, did you go out and interview these athletes? So
we did a combination of, we talked like this face to face, or like, virtually like this with athletes. We met with some face-to-face. We did it in a lot of different ways. And, even writing them with some emails gives them time. And that's what we wanted. We would give them the list of questions.
Okay.
And we wanted to give them time to think about it a little bit.
Okay.
So, it worked out really well. We started with, we're like, all right, let's get 10. Well, we got 10. And we're like, all right, let's get 20. And it kept building and building. And then it was kind of like the trickle, chain reaction where we got, 30, 40, and they say, you have to talk to this person. You have to talk to that person. So we went and talked to these people. And it just kept building and building. So we're like, all right, let's get 100, and we got that. And really it was the idea, we didn't just get 100 to get 100. We wanted diverse opinions, diverse people, different backgrounds. So it was really the idea of getting a lot of different people's opinion on the same subject.
I got you. And I love it. I mean, I've gone through it all. I've read it all. And I love in a sense, the quickness of it. It's not like jargon. It's not like too much. It's literally just like, I can open it up and it's just like, what's the routine that you're used to? Mentors, preparation, and lessons. And it's just very to the point, and it helped me so much. And it was a great read. I love the illustrations. They were so cute. But a lot of the things like that you don't think about when you're transitioning after is in this book. And when you read it before you retire, I think it's amazing, especially for me, because now I'm realizing, okay, that little meltdown that I had trying to figure out what I was going to do after is normal. Okay, I can take the time. I can take a step back. I can really figure out what I'm doing. And I'm trying to, and also in the book, it was like, start now. Start, meeting people and networking and stuff like that. And I was doing it on a small scale, and now I'm like, oh, time to turn it up. I'm networking with everybody that I know. And that's how this show even got started, because I was like,
that's awesome.
I've wanted to do things on, virtually for a really long time. I wanted to start my own podcast, but I'm not a blogger. And I was like, once I'm face to face, we're gold. Like, we can talk, we can chill, like, we can do this. So I thank you for that. And I don't think you know how many athletes you've helped. So I will say, this book has helped me so much, and you have been a big inspiration to me, and I appreciate that.
That's awesome to hear. And that was, I'll tell you what, that was the entire idea for current players. You're a current Olympian. That was the number one idea that I wish I did more while I was still playing, is network while you're playing. Yes. When you're done, people, ex-Olympian, ex-Cowboy, whatever it is, people, they'll take your calls. They're willing to talk to you. You have a cool background.
That's why you took my call.
But it's the idea, I'm telling you, when you're still playing, there's like a sexiness to it that people are part of, like now I'm sure a lot of other people are following you through your journey as an Olympian. And when you're done playing, you know what? They remembered you talked to them while you were doing it. Yeah. And you kept them in that network. The challenge for some athletes is, you got to be careful about how many people or who you let in that network. But at the same time, the idea of, letting people be connected with it and what you're currently doing is just like, it's so powerful. It's awesome.
Yeah. And I agree with that 100%. And I think it's important for athletes to start now. I mean, I do understand, like, when I'm at like a track meet and I'm overseas, it is a little bit more difficult because before the meet I have to like focus and get in, that frame of mind. And then most of the time that I network is after the competition when everyone's at the bar. I'm like, oh yeah, this is my sweet spot. This is when I can swoop in and be like, hey, what's going on? So I definitely, do what you can. And for me, I feel like the scariest thing for me and the hardest part is like the emails and not knowing these people and putting yourself out there. How did you go about that once you wanted to transition post NFL?
Well, I'll tell you how we went about it with the book is we heard a lot of no's.
Really?
We did. We thought it would be, and you know what? We heard a lot of no's, but obviously we heard a lot of yeses because we got over 100 people. And some of the bigger athletes, when we start getting yeses there, we try to leverage that a little more.
Yeah.
But we heard a lot of no's, and it was, it's like anything, you know, you hear no, you got to hear a lot of no's to get to yes.
Absolutely. I always say 10,000 failures to get to your one success.
Yeah.
I'm all about that. All about it.
But it was also the idea, once we did, you know, we obviously, like I said, we got a lot of yeses, and they started the domino effect too. You know, the people who were into it were into it. You know, everybody didn't have to be, but the ones who were really into it. That's who we wanted to engage anyway.
I got you. It's funny that Chris is in here now because
Chris Grimes, what up, bro?
I was literally about to ask you, like, how was it when you reach out to people? Because I saw, was it Chris that was on Shark Tank?
Yeah, Shark Tank with the ice shaker, I think it is.
There you go. Shout out the ice shaker, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, we're big Shark Tank. We're always like, what can we invent? Like, come on, think. Like,
and you see it online on the show, and you're like, damn, I could have thought of that. That's simple.
And so I actually reached out to Chris. I reached out to a few athletes in this book because reading their story and their background, I'm just like, I want to know more. Yeah, he's making fun of your mustache, I think. Yeah,
yep.
I see it.
Yeah, I got you, bro. You know what I do. You want a good representation of it. I got you. So when you reached out to a lot of these athletes, and when they did say yes, did you already have your questions in mind, or did you kind of shape them for each athlete?
No, we had every athlete in the book answer the same questions.
Okay.
And that was the idea of, you know, same question, different viewpoint. Athlete who's been, you know, played in the NFL or played in the sport for 2 years or 10 years, made no money, made millions of dollars. Okay. So we wanted each, you know, the same question for each athlete.
I got you. That's awesome. Well, I mean, again, I thank you for the book. It's absolutely amazing. Again, guys, I am here with Phil Costa, former NFL player. And for me, it's kind of like when people say that, like, I'm like, no, he's an NFL player. Like, you always will be. You played that. No one's going to call me a former Olympian. I work too damn hard to say former. I'm always that. So, NFL player, Phil Costa. If you guys have any questions, please write them in the question mark at the bottom of your screen around the square. Ask away. And so I do know that you have been busy. You're obviously an author, and you are on the board of directors of Athlife Foundation currently still? Yes. Okay. And now you're in real estate. Am I correct about that? No?
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
Okay, good. Thank God my research was correct.
It's right. It's right.
I'm butchering this. How is all of that going? Because for me, I'm always worried that if I get into a career, I went to the bank once and the guy was like, it'll take 6 months for you to transition to even be used to muggle life, which I call muggle life. He's never seen Harry Potter, so have you seen Harry Potter?
I read all the books, yep.
Okay, well, this loser has never seen or even read a book. So for me, it's very interesting to find out how that lifestyle is now for you, obviously. So
it's been a little bit of time for me. You know, my last year in the league was 2014. But originally, you know, not too long ago, but it's the same idea called muggle life is, you know, when I walked into a doctor's office, so my first job out, about a year out, I was doing medical device sales.
Okay.
And, you know, before playing with the Dallas Cowboys, people, you know, pay you for your autograph. People are waiting in line. It's a much different experience. So I get in the doctor's office and ask to meet with him, and doctor comes out and doesn't even say a word, just gives me like one of these like go away. And it was humbling at that time because I'm like, all right, the world's changed a little bit, you know. So it was humbling to say the world's changed, I better change with it. And from there, you know, it's not that I took myself like, oh, I'm, you know, Dallas Cowboy walking in there, but it was just like his mindset shift from, you know, people are waiting in line to people brushing you off in some sense. Yeah. And that shift, it was just a humbling experience that I remember. But, you know, you can talk a lot of different things like that.
Yeah, I feel you. I definitely, I can only imagine, because I was talking to Curtis Williams, and he was an NFL player for the Jets, the Giants, and the Vikings. And he was just like, I had to humble myself real quick. He was like, I just came back, I humbled myself and started from scratch and worked my way up. And it's interesting because there is a misconception that so you were in the NFL, you'll get a job, all you do is just make one phone call and you'll get the job of, whatever you want. But I like that you did have to kind of get that splash of cold water in your face and you're just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I am going to get to one of the questions because
Coach Nutt.
Oh, okay.
He would like to know, Phil.
Hold on.
I'll tell you what, you are a natural at these.
I have to go with the questions. I'm teaching him, Phil. I'm teaching him. How many languages do you speak now? And that is from Chris Gronkowski.
Chris Gronk. What up, bro? So I'm obviously English and fluent in Spanish.
Ooh.
I'm losing it a little bit. I spent, over a year in Spain, months in Mexico, and months in South America. And at that point I was fluent, losing a little bit right now, but I can still hold my own in Spanish.
I feel like that's like, what is it? Girl bait? You know how like when
Girl bait?
Yeah. Like
Chick
when
bait?
chick bait. I'm
Chick bait?
sorry. This is why I have him on the show.
Chick bait.
Chick bait. I feel like if you just walked up to a bar,
it's like having a puppy.
Yeah.
Actually. Like girls just.
I just feel like that's such and the stash. I feel like Chris is on it. Chris is on this stash.
It's about the stash. My girlfriend loves this thing. Trust me.
Really?
No, not at all. But
I was like, do you see my reaction? I was like, he's a loving person. I told him that we have an agreement in our relationship that I am not allowed to shave my head and he is not allowed to shave his face. He always has to have it.
Yeah, I need to keep the beard. That's in the vows.
It's in the contract. Yeah, so that's definitely true. But that's really cool. Thank you for your question. Oh, somebody else asked, what is your daily routine during COVID?
I think it's shifted, the last couple months. I think it's been tough for a lot of people. But my routine has shifted. But I'm still pretty much on it. Is wake up, I read the Wall Street Journal every morning. After that, I'm watching the news, watching stocks, and then I'll get on the Peloton. Have you guys Peloton yet?
No.
Not yet.
You got to try it.
I'm going to be very, very honest with you, Phil. I want to be one of the trainers.
Dude,
I reached out to one of the trainers because they're only 30 minutes. And it would keep me in shape, and I definitely have enough energy to like motivate people. So I reached out to one of their trainers, so I'll let you know. But we have not tried it. My mom wants to buy one. They
are, I'll say I'm the biggest ambassador right now for Peloton. I love them.
Wow.
I probably dropped like 15, it wasn't like that quick, but probably 15, 20 pounds on it. Wow. It was like in the last few months.
Okay.
I definitely got to say, when I put out your poster, I was like, there ain't no way this is Phil. There ain't no way.
While we're on the subject, if you don't mind me asking, how much weight did you drop since retiring as NFL lineman to normal, everyday Phil Costa?
Just say muggle. We know what we're talking about. Get used to it. Okay, well,
Probably like, it's right around like 85 pounds, man. And I love to eat. We still, I love cheat meals. You don't get to above 300 pounds by not liking food. Yeah. So I still love to eat, but just put it all in a big cheat meal,
That's the thing. And people always ask me like, oh, how do you stay thin? I'm like, I have a cheat meal, not a cheat day. It's the same thing. Yeah. I'd be having my cheat meals. Don't play. And I wouldn't train for the Olympics if I couldn't drink alcohol. So I think it's part of my training routine, honestly. It makes me better.
It does.
But yeah, I couldn't believe the difference in your pictures. I was definitely shocked. I was like, there's no way that's Phil. I was like, there's no freaking way. Do you was it the meals that changed, or did you want to lose weight, or you want
It was, so from losing 85 pounds from playing in the NFL, I force-fed myself every day for 10 years, counting college.
Yeah.
Force-fed myself to eat so much food, so much meat and vegetables and everything else. So when I was done playing, it was nice to be able to skip a meal and to be able to eat like a normal portion.
That's incredible.
As a lineman, it was like, For lunch, pound of meat. For dinner, a pound of meat. And then looking back now, it's disgusting. Yeah, it's gross. But it was so much food, you know. And
look, I'm not
nice.
vegan. I love my bacon and my cheeseburgers and my hot dogs and all of it. But goddamn, 2 pounds a day?
It was a lot of food.
Oh my goodness! I got another question for you. Who was the toughest player you played against?
Ooh. I'll tell you what, it was a teammate. I don't know how many people, Jay Ratliff. He was a defensive lineman for the Cowboys. And we used to have battles in practice. My rookie year, he hated me. And that's all right. I was trying to make the team. He was a multi-time, Pro Bowler.
Gotcha.
So I was the annoying, rookie trying to make the team, and he was, getting better. And it took the entire season until the end of the year. I remember we were actually here in Philly. We were here in the end zone in Philly, and it was just like he stopped me before the game, and he's like, "I appreciate what you've been doing all year, man." And that was all it was said. But as an athlete, like that's all that needed to be said. You know what I mean?
Yep. That's respect.
And it took that, and then after that, we were actually hanging out like second, third, fourth year. So,
oh wow.
It took some time to get his respect, but he's definitely one of the toughest players.
We're a big football family couple.
Yeah,
this is us. We don't even have a dog. And so I do want to ask, sidetrack. Do you follow college football?
I follow Maryland where I went, but not a ton. Who's your team?
LSU.
LSU?
Yeah.
Is Ken same?
No, not at all.
He's forced to, because if he doesn't, that's also in the marriage agreement. He must like the team that I like. And I think when we first started dating, I didn't even think we would get married because I showed him my true colors at watching a game. And my hair was purple. My hair is usually purple. I decided to tame it down, so I was like, I don't want to scare Phil. And I had the LSU gear on. I had my LSU cup. I'm all about it. And I yell. I'm one of those true black women that's thinks that they can hear me through the TV. And so, yes, so I wanted to ask you about Joe Burrows, but if you have no idea, that's okay.
I know a little bit about him, but
not like that.
I'm sure not like you.
Yeah, I know. So I have a question. Now that you're retired, do you still follow the NFL very closely?
Not very closely. I watch probably 2 games a year, and that's usually when the Cowboys are playing the Eagles. So I watch those games. I watch playoffs a little bit. I usually watch a Super Bowl. But, day to day, I'd much rather follow politics, follow the news, and it just interests me, much differently than the NFL or than sports does. I
feel like it's so weird because he does too. It's very interesting. Yeah. He's really into politics and the news, and we're just getting into what's the thing that we're about to invest in? Stock market.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm such a child. I'm not a grown up yet, and I don't even care about that. But he really is into that. Is there a reason why? Because for me, if you did it professionally, you would still be involved in it.
Well, people ask that a lot. I think the idea is.
I'm sorry.
No, I didn't mean it like that. Is the idea? I love to play. Loved playing sports. Loved playing football. When I would watch film, loved watching film because it was extremely related to what I had to do that day, the next day, next year. When I was in it, loved it. To be a spectator, I never really, I can tell you a time where I passed up tickets to go to a World Series game because somebody I knew in high school was playing, and to me that interests me a lot more. I'd rather cheer for somebody I know at any level than cheer for people I don't know, even at the highest level.
I got you. So you'll be at the Olympics with Ken sitting next to him?
I would love to go. Let's go.
Tokyo?
Tokyo 2021. Let's do it.
Yes, I'm excited. Somebody just joined in, said that they're a big fan of yours and asked you what you're doing now. The reason why I'm asking
Tommy, go.
Phil, is you have your MBA, you're an author, and you're on the board of directors for Life Foundation, and now you're in real estate. So if you could, I guess people actually want to know. I'm sorry. I'm usually having a conversation, guys. So that's why I say ask your questions, because I can go off on a tangent asking about people.
And she does.
Hush. And so can you tell me just a little bit about you being on the board of directors, what the Life Foundation is, and real estate, and why you got into that?
Yeah, so the Life Foundation, it supports high school aged kids all over the U.S. They've supported over 10,000 kids. And as an athlete, you'll get this, is it pays for the athlete for a coach, for an coach at the high school level, making sure the kids are going to class, making sure the kids are going to practice, doing what they're supposed to be doing on and off the field. And it pays directly to the person in that position when we raise funds.
Oh, cool.
Wow, you need to apply.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's an awesome foundation, and I got involved with them. It's probably been a little over a year now. We donated $7,000 from pre-sale proceeds of the book, and we donated to AthLife.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and it was just a mission I believed in then and still strongly believe in now. And then real estate, I've been investing, from the beginning, probably 2014, 2015, dipped my toe in the water.
Okay.
And learning over the last 5-6 years. From that time, I bought some multifamily, sold some, and right now trying to build up more multifamily properties in my portfolio.
Well, if you want a single family household
Down the shore.
Yeah, where are you guys at?
We live in Wildwood.
Are you in Wildwood? Nice.
Wildwood, man. 3 blocks from the beach. Yep.
And we, honestly, we'll talk after this because we might have a proposition for you. All
Let's do it.
That's awesome. I think that's very cool. I think it's something that a lot of athletes, they do get into real estate. And I think if you have a personality, I think it's great. I think it's good. I think it's a good market. It keeps you on your toes. It keeps you out of the office, in the office. So it gives you a little bit of both worlds.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually went to the Pan Am Sports. It was like a whole conference and in Miami. And they were talking about, post-athletic life. And a lot of people go into the business and they have to sit in the cubicle and it's not for them.
Right.
And I'm just like, I feel like real estate is something that's growing and and you can do different markets. You can do the millionaire market, you can do the shore market, you can do the commercial. So I love that, and I love that you're a big advocate for that, and you actually do that. I do have to, because I promised one of my friends that I would ask you, and I don't know if you get asked this a lot, and I'm sure you do. The misconception of being a celebrity and having a high-profile relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And when I feel like I do this all the time. I start researching people and I start asking them questions. Like I'm like, oh, I just want to talk to them. And then I research a little deeper, and somebody else, when I post it, is like, do you know this about them? And I'm like, no, tell me. And that's exactly what happened with my previous guest today. I reached out to her because she owns like a little gym niche kind of thing in Nashville and Denver. Come to find out, she's engaged to somebody who's on The Bachelor. Didn't know that?
My girlfriend would love that. Oh, she loves that show. Bachelor, Bachelorette. No?
Yeah, but she wasn't on the show. She was like, I had a full-time job, and he slid in my DMs. And I was like, okay, it works. Awesome. So I asked her about that, and come to find out, you were engaged to Hulk Hogan's daughter.
Right.
I had not a clue, not even a little bit. And I'm so sorry. And I'm not I'm sorry I didn't know this. I guess I didn't follow you close enough. When did this happen?
So it was when I was down in playing in Dallas. It feels like a lifetime ago.
Right?
It does
I was
now.
engaged before too. And when he brings it up, I'm like, damn, I was engaged. Like, yeah,
you kind of like get that out of your mind. And I was
I'm
like,
not even the same person. I can't even imagine it. I can't. I'm sorry. Keep going, Bill.
No, we, so we met. What was my 4th year in the league, and
You were still big. You were big.
I was still huge. Yeah, I thought I looked like I did now, but I was still over 300 pounds. But you know what? It's interesting. We talked about that a little bit before with I guess that kind of relationship. I was known for playing football. I didn't want to be known for I'm in this relationship.
Yeah.
And I can
like
remember.
The Kardashian curse.
It's to some level. I remember we actually had. Well, I'll go into that another time. Kim was at a practice. A guy who was dating her on the team. But it was the idea. I wanted to be known for football, and I remember I got a call. It was like halfway through the season. We had just broken up, my ex and I get a call from TMZ, and they're like, well, like Hulk Hogan said this about you. And I'm like, okay. I told the reporter, I was like, I don't have time for this. Like, go kick rocks. Like, I have football to play.
Yeah.
So I never entertained that side of it.
Okay.
But, the media is powerful in a lot of ways, and whatever they print is true. And I'll tell you, it's funny with this topic is I can remember during my MBA at Columbia, we had a professor, and this was, a class where we talked about marketing and the public perception.
Yeah. Oh, damn.
And the professor said, it's probably 60 people in the room. And they go, has anybody ever read a story in a newspaper that you knew wasn't true? And how many people do you think raised their hand in the class? Out of 60.
I personally,
just me.
I would say a small amount. Yeah.
Yeah. It was funny. It was just me who raised my hand, and I was shocked by that because I've been in the locker room where, I saw something happen. I was right there. The next day I read it in the paper, and I'm like, man, that's not how it went down at all, but, the media is powerful, so, you kind of learn that.
I definitely, and that was the thing that I asked her, and I asked a lot of high-profile athletes that I interview, is what's the misconception? Because, I've interviewed, 2-time gold medalist Natasha Hastings, Morgan Mitchell, who was on the Netflix movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And it's like all these people have these perceptions around them. So for them, to even say yes to me, I'm like, they must be down to earth. Because if you're supporting my little show, you can't be this media bitch that like you're proclaimed to be. And so for me, that's the only reason I bring it up is because I honestly want to know how it was in the spotlight. Because if it's, for me, obviously, we're about to dive into something that I have a very strong feeling will become popular as an interracial couple and in the country music genre. So I'm like, I already know we're about to, be very different and publicized. So it's really, I'm asking from a place of honest interest because I want to know if was the high media around your relationship one of the things that broke it up.
No, it definitely was not. No, it wasn't that. I think everybody deals with it in a different way.
Yeah.
It's funny. I haven't thought about this in years now.
Sorry.
But
my bad, bro.
It's all
I'll
good.
a bottle of tequila. Don't worry.
Yeah, please do. Send me some Terramana. But it's funny,
journalism right here.
Yeah, for real, right? No, this is good. I think it's interesting that at that time, I think that she wanted that, more media. I guess she was used to that. I wasn't. I just, like I said, I was known for playing football, and that's what I wanted to do.
I feel you. Well, that's good. I like it, and I always wonder because again,
Chris G, you're still there?
Yeah.
I'm surprised Chris is still watching.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Chris. Let me tell you a story about Chris, since he's still there. So Chris, shout out Ice Shaker. Chris is such an incredible person. Everybody knows, Rob Gronkowski, his brother, and Chris has been extremely successful after football. Another guy who was, an overachiever on the field, played in the NFL. Nobody gave him a chance to play in the NFL. And probably, I'll say this, probably one of the smartest people I know. If he doesn't know an answer, he's going to go find it.
Yeah.
And, that's why he's grown his company. People love to say that, Ice Shaker, he's grown it into a multi-million-dollar company. He has another company that's a multi-million-dollar company.
Mm-hmm.
And people, I'm sure they pointed it and say, well, he would have gotten that, or he got that because Rob's his brother, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
No chance. I'm telling you that knowing Chris, he got that, and, he 100% because of the way he works, how smart he is, and he would have got there anyway,
Yeah.
with his brother's help.
Away.
Let's see what he said. I thought this story was going to be a different way.
Yeah, that's why I was like, all right, take it a different direction, bro.
I got other stories too. Chris, he's in the...
Speak my truth. This is the real. This is ABC for the real. This is the real. Like, there's no censors. I don't got a boss. Like, it is what it is.
Well, it's funny with Chris. We talk about eating. We talked about that before and how much food you had to eat in the NFL. I can remember Chris and I, oh, God, we're in an extended stay hotel outside of Dallas, both trying to make the team our rookie year. And we're just cooking chicken on the George Foreman grill, just this day after day after day, and like taking the last bite until you almost puke. It was just like we shared something pretty special down there because we were both in the same position and just like so hungry to make it and doing whatever it took, with on the field to make sure we took care of ourselves off the field. So it's I appreciate you hanging around here, Chris.
I know, I do too. And P.S. Chris, I reached out to you and I haven't heard back, and I just feel some type of way, but it's okay.
Stay on the good side, bro.
I forgive you, boo boo.
Stay on the good side.
But you know what? I really want to ask you this because it's something that I have dealt with on a personal level, and I'm sorry, I'm taking up so much of your time. So this will be my last question, and then we'll get to Ken's corner, and then we'll wrap this up. I'm so sorry. I had this hunger when I was younger to be an Olympic champion, and I worked so tirelessly to get there, and I pulled my hamstring the year of the Olympics. I rehabbed. I did everything that was possible. I made the Olympic team. I didn't make finals, and then I had an Olympic hangover that next year. And for me, I feel like I worked so hard to get this one goal, and no matter what happens, I am going to be so happy to retire. You just spoke about that hunger, that fight to just make it. Was it everything you expected?
Making the NFL, it was awesome. It was definitely an incredible job, such a special job. With that said, it's still a job, and you show up there, 6:30 in the morning, you leave 6:30 at night. In your off time, I was watching film, I was taking care of my body. And then the next day you go back and do the same thing again, 6:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. So it was definitely a job, but it was an awesome job, and I was lucky to do it, for 4 years and get paid to play a sport.
Yeah.
They say you don't get paid to play, you get paid to practice. And, that was the practices, which are tough. Everybody will go out there in front of 80,000, 100,000 people and play a game.
Yeah.
There we go. We're back.
There it is. Okay.
Back.
Yep. We're good. Cool.
Yeah, I think we're all good. Yep. I think.
Yeah, we're.
Yeah, I think it's something that is very important for athletes to know because everyone, especially football athletes and basketball athletes, they try so hard to make it, and then they have to realize that they have to work double that to sustain it. Because again, you think about all they see is like the Kobe's and the Jordans and stuff like that. But the one thing that they say is that they worked harder while they were in the league than, you know what I mean? So to keep up and to evolve with the sport. And so thank you so much for being here, for taking out the time. I really appreciate it. Another round of applause. Thank you so much.
Nah, this is cool. Thank you for having me on.
Oh my God, I loved it. And I've been wanting to, I couldn't wait for this interview. I was so excited. And now we're going to get to a portion that he's already here is Ken's Corner. And Ken, for those on the audience that don't know, Ken is my husband. And he knows really nothing about any sport except for football and baseball. And so he's going to ask you a random question. So Ken, what is your question?
If the Hunger Games were real and you were involved, who would you want as your backup? Who's got your back? Who's supporting you? Real or fictitious?
I'll tell you what, the guy who's been on here, Tony Lorraine, he's been, we all call him Coach Nutt.
Yep.
He's been so crucial as a friend, as a mentor, as a coach, and somebody who's been there, when things were going good and bad. So 100% Coach Nutt.
I love it. Coach Nutt is.
He's a man, isn't he?
Guy.
He
I
is.
got my Tough Nut shirts in the house
Hell yeah.
all the time. People ask me, like, what's a tough nut? Like, you don't know and you'll never know.
Exactly.
It's a small group and club to be a part of. He's a great guy. He really is.
Who is he?
Coach Nutt. He was special teams coach for Holy Cross and Paul 6.
Right.
He's awesome dude.
Again, I was a dork. Why don't you understand
She was on the dance
this?
team at halftime.
Yeah, I came out for
Nice.
halftime and I was like, can I go? Hi, Coach. How are you?
Even Brown getting in on the tough nut.
I
Love
know. Again, thank you so much. I appreciate it. You were absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much for being a part of this, supporting this, and I wish you nothing but success. And hopefully, once this quarantine thing is over, we can meet in person, have a drink, and just talk a little bit more.
Hell yes.
I know. Now that you're back, he was like, he's not here.
He's in like Madrid or something.
And I was like, oh my God, I feel so bad because your time zone. I was like, I'm so sorry. But yeah, so he's back in Philly. You're fine.
Perfect.
Thank you again, and I will talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Later,
Bye. Thank you.
Ken.
Wow, that was great.
That was fun.
That was fun. I always ask my husband to be a part of these interviews when it's like a male person that's super sports dominant. Just for references, and we are being true. We definitely had some, we've had some conversations about doing a show together, and I want him to get more comfortable in front of the camera. He says he's comfortable,
but I may not look it.
Yeah, he just like sits there and he's just like
cool, chilling.
And so for me, I just don't understand it. But I thank you guys so much. I thank Phil. Guys, seriously, I know it's backwards, but please grab this book. It's amazing. It's so good. It's a transition playbook for athletes. It's phenomenal. You are horrible. This is what happens. You have to be able to look at the comments and then go right back
Thanks,
up.
Coach Nutt. Love you, buddy. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Coach Nutt. I don't personally know you, but thank you so much. Phil spoke so highly about you and Chris, and I hope I will reach out to both of you, and hopefully you guys can be on the show. I really, really thank you so much. This is literally a dream of mine. I want to be a woman of color, late night show host, talk show kind of thing. And if my husband can be there, he'll be in the audience all the night.
I'll be the guy with the applause sign hyping up the crowd. I'll be your hype man.
That's a whole job. Sweetie.
I can do that. That's fine.
I'm not paying you for that.
I know.
Okay. But thank you guys so much. I appreciate all your support. It's been an amazing journey today. I've learned a lot about being in the public eye. It's something that I still aspire to. I'm working very hard to attain a big goal, a big dream of mine. And so I appreciate it. I appreciate my husband being here with me. But tomorrow is what day?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. And I have Summer Sanders. So if you guys know,
Summer Sanders,
the Olympic gold medalist, and I know her from Nickelodeon. I'm super excited that she's going to be a part of the show. So thank you guys. Be sure to tune in tomorrow. I believe it's at 6 p.m.
Yes.
But check my story. But thank you guys so much, and we will talk to you tomorrow. Toodles.
See you guys.